This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Let's listen to Mr. Cornette here.
I present now my personal bodyguard, 6'8", 357 pounds, the baddest man in the world, Big Bubba Rogers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Louisville street fight. There is no time limit. The battle can commence anywhere in the Omni floor. The way you lose is either by a pinfall or a 10 count. The opponent for Big Bubba is from Atlanta, Georgia, 236 pounds. The man with the hands of stone, Ron Garvin.
You can tell that was a Georgia accent he had, right?
What, Ron Garvin? Yes, he did.
Oh man,
we had Ronnie Garvin on, David, a week before, last week here on this on our podcast, and we asked him about working for the Crockett's, and he wanted to talk about working for your father because that's when he first started.
Right.
He had a lot of great things to say about your dad and about Crockett Promotions before you and Jimmy took over the company after your dad passed away. So obviously Ronnie Garvin had been pretty entrenched in the Crockett Promotions.
Oh, yes, definitely. He had his trailer business that he would build trailers, horse trailers, just, as a pastime.
Uh-huh.
And just to me, great guy, and when he hit guys, it, I think we were talking about they want to do it open fist or something. Ronnie, he's going to connect a little bit. Yeah, you will have to take a little bit of punishment.
Right. Well, he told us, Conrad, and this is something that really you think about. We talked to Ronnie. We said, because we saw so many matches, we've watched so many matches from the TBS studios where he would take these guys and actually, stretch them. Yes. Be really, really rough with them. Yeah. And he said, yeah, I did, because that's the way I was brought into the business. The older guys in the business, when I came in and I was just a young guy, he said, they used to stretch me. So I thought that was a way of indoctrinating you into the business. So that's very old school, the way he did it, but I loved it.
Oh, I did too. Yeah. I mean, and they fought it. You could see them, those job guys that come in knowing they're going to get killed.
Yeah.
And, they're putting their hands up and he backs them to that rope. Yeah, he and John Valentine just.
Oh, yeah.
Crush him. Now, he lives in West Virginia now, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. We talked to him. He and his family were driving to Florida. Shows you how tight he still is, because I know he can afford to fly to Florida. But they were driving to Florida, and so yeah, he does live in West Virginia. And I think I have a good feeling that Ronnie saved most of his money.
Oh, so yes.
So he's probably got his own little mountain in West Virginia somewhere.
I'm sure he does. Matter of fact, he when I saw him, I forget where it was, maybe Baltimore. He was talking about West Virginia, his mountaintop.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was very nice. He wanted us to stay in touch with him. Me and Rick Stewart, I remember his name now. Rick Stewart's the commentator with me, and Charlie McGowan is there with a headset on, keeping time at ringside. But yeah, Ronnie Garvin was really, truly one of the nicest guys, and he wants to stay in touch. And, by golly, I'm going to stay in touch, because he's just, he was a good man.
Yes.
And of course,
I'd like the information. I'd like to stay in touch with him.
Okay. I'll send you his information. Yeah. I will.
Mr. Crockett, when we were catching up with Mr. Garvin, very classy gentleman. He was clear not to want to throw anybody under the bus, but you could certainly read between the lines that he felt like, the Crockett promotion was changing a little bit in this era. And maybe there were some political problems between himself and Dusty Rhodes. Do you remember any unrest from Mr. Garvin in this era?
Well, Dusty had his favorites, and Ron, old school, And no, he's not, he's not going to suck up. Ron's not going to do that. And if he thinks something's wrong, he's going to tell you.
Yeah.
So that caused tension, I guess you might say. Ron was right in doing what he did. He wasn't going to bastardize himself or anyone.
Yeah.
And I assume when you say doing what he did, you mean in terms of leaving and going to work for Vince?
Yes.
Yeah. He showed up with Vince, I guess, shortly after I went up there. And they really didn't use Ronnie that much. But again, Ronnie was, he was a little bit older than most at that time. But you're right. He mentioned us. He used the word politics a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we were talking to him, and obviously he was talking about the booking and Dusty. When wrestlers talk about politics, a lot of times you can read between the lines.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm doing that with Ronnie, but when they say politics, they're just saying, I don't like the way I've been booked. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Every time I see them, which hadn't been that often, it was Ricky Morton would always bring up about, when we had matches in Greensboro and Charlotte, and Charlotte outdrew Greensboro, and it was the Rock and Roll Express against the Midnight Express, and Dusty was in Greensboro. So, it was ha, ha, ha. So, tension, egos, definitely.
Yeah, politics. And
yeah,
you'll be glad to know, David, that egos, tension, and politics are still alive today in the wrestling business. They have gone nowhere.
Some things never change.
Absolutely never change.
Never. I've watched, and I could see, at first, I was saying, okay, everybody's, on the same page, but there are a lot of different agendas I see.
Yeah.
In AEW now.
Yeah. Well, everybody wants to be on top.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to win their matches, and it just doesn't happen for everybody. It was very unique, this whole situation of this arena here at the Omni, because the scaffold was in place, and obviously you had to have cameramen work around the scaffold.
Yes.
And there you see your brother Jackie on the far side running the camera.
Right.
The cameras. We also had, and I think he recently passed away. Was it
Skeeter?
Skeeter Brawley, was that his last name?
That's right. Yeah. Skeeter.
He was out of South Carolina.
Yeah, Columbia, with Toby Jenkins.
Right.
And God, trying to figure out who else was audio and.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember any of the other guys, but
yeah. And there's Woody, the cameraman. The photographer.
Photographer, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew who he was. I remember seeing him, but I didn't remember his name was Woody.
Yeah, and worked for the Observer too.
Wow, the Charlotte Observer. Yeah. Is there still a Charlotte Observer?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Hey. Thin paper. It's a thin paper.
I know.
Like so many of them.
The Atlanta Journal-Constitution has morphed into the thrifty nickel, basically.
But it doesn't cost a nickel. Does it?
No, it doesn't.
A little bit more. More.
It's amazing that the newspapers and radio, which back in that day in '86 were a big part of everything, is not so much anymore. Of course, the internet and TV rules all. So
all right. What happened to Bubba? Do you know where he is?
He passed away.
Right, I know, but now didn't he go to Vince?
Oh yeah, he became a big star. He became the big boss man.
Yeah.
Then he came back to WCW. You'll recall, and he had so many different gimmicks then. But Conrad, do you remember when he passed away off the top of your head?
I think it was 04.
04?
September 22nd, 2004.
Okay.
Wow. He was only like 41 years old when he passed away too.
Yeah.
Way, way too young. But here we are in 86, and 86 is really kind of the story of Big Bubba, because we actually saw him on TBS early in the year. Tony and I did, as an enhancement talent.
Yes.
And he took a slingshot suplex from Tully Blanchard, and allegedly that got the attention of Dusty Rhodes, and they thought, hey, we got to do something with this kid. and he became the heavy for Jim Crockett or Jim Cornette rather. And
Well, Cornette bought into him. Come on. I mean, if Cornette didn't like him, didn't want to deal with him, he could have killed him,
Sure.
interview wise. But, he saw him, what he could do with him. Cornette, I wish he were still traveling because, he's got the gift of gab. He's creative. I saw him missing, that obnoxious attitude of his.
Well, you can always check out his podcast if you want to hear some obnoxious attitudes, because there's only one Jim Cornette, man, the way he presents the business. You're right. Jim Cornette was literally one of the most creative guys that ever been around in the wrestling business. Yeah. Still today.
Very high strung.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I get it. It's a wrestling podcast, but he's saving us money on our mortgage. Do you really trust this process? The reviews don't lie. 5-star review after 5-star review. We make it fast, we make it easy, and it's no cost or obligation. Give us a shot to earn your business. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did, especially if you like keeping more of your own money. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket, so what are you waiting for? Hurry to savewithconrad.com. I wish in an alternate universe, maybe there hadn't have been so many hurt feelings so quickly, because Buddy, he would have been outstanding as a part of a contributor for AEW.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. He would have been. I like how this, these two guys, this is a hell of a match going on here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is showing what Ray Traylor, Big Bubba could do in less than a year in the business, and how he could sell, how he could do things. Look at him up on the top.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, for a man his size, very agile.
Yeah.
He's like Paul White.
Yeah.
I'm amazed what he could do off that top turnbuckle. They wouldn't let him, both he and Paul, because they're so big.
You know what amazed me?
Look at that. Pile driver broke the belt loops. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was tremendous. And Jim Cornette's going to load up the Mac and hit Ronnie. Boom.
Down goes Frazier.
And there you go. It was, what amazes me about this time, and even David, I've made mention of the fact, and I've talked about this many times. And I want to get your address, by the way, because I want to send you my comic book. What amazes me is when I was a wrestling fan, even in this time, when guys would, in the ring, now I think Tommy Young is telling us first man to his feet is going to win it, is that they could call a match in the ring.
Yes.
And you could not tell that they were doing that. They were so good at talking to each other in the ring, and not today. I see so many guys talk in the ring that it's like, and I know the camera, they've got close-up camera shots now, and it's different era with so many different cameras and lighting and all that. But I always thought the art was being able to call a match and the fans cannot see you talking.
Yeah.
Today you see a lot of that, but back then, man, hell, I didn't know, obviously, until I started in the business. I didn't know they were talking to each other in the ring. Didn't know it. And I went to hundreds of matches. I spent a lot of money on Jim Crockett promotions.
All right. I like that. I like that.
In the 70s.
And it's an art form, I tried it, for about a year, and it's how you hold your mouth, and also you say other things besides what you're going to be doing in the ring or want to do. And then you have talent. Let's say take Tully wrestling Magnum. Well, they wrestle so much, they sort of know.
Sure. They didn't have to call every spot.
Didn't have to. No, it's the feel.
Right.
That audience, they hear the audience. They have this. What's he doing now? He's loading that thing again.
Loading that. This is the replay.
Replay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just it was an art form, and it still is. but it's changed a great deal, obviously, from what it used to be.
Well, actually, now they rehearse a lot,
Oh,
or try to.
yes, yeah, right. All right, we're going to go back to Atlanta now in a first blood match between Dusty and Tully Blanchard.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.